Hello. Welcome to another Make Dinner with Me. How are you doing tonight? I hope you had a wonderful day on this Thursday. Today we are making tacos. Taco. We usually do it on Tuesdays, but because I'm back into my usual routine of every 2 days cooking a meal and then the second day having leftovers, it's just the way it falls. So if I make something on Monday, then on Tuesday the leftovers. And if I make something on Wednesday, Thursday's leftovers. And so on and so forth. And that has worked for our family for the past, I want to say 3 years, because I kind of adopted that method, that system for us, so that we can have less stress on mom, be able to explore more with different foods, and it's worked. It's worked very well. So I am stir frying some onions and gonna get the meat cooked soon. We just got an Instacart order in, well, a Walmart and an Instacart order. Hello, Tabby. Hello, Nicole. I did two orders, one for Walmart and one for Aldi's Instacart. Aldi's through Instacart, and so that's what hubby's doing right now. You wanna see all the groceries on the island there right now. He's gonna be putting that away. Am I enjoying your shirt? You gave me this a while back, so I like to actually wear this when I'm going to be working out because it's nice and loose and cool. So if I'm sweating, it's not like glued to me or sticking to my skin. It's nice and, loosey goosey. You got more clothes to get. My sister. Today I'm rocking the Thai mom bun because, today wasn't anything special as far as going out. And it was hot in my house, so I needed my hair off of my neck to cool me down. These onions are starting to get nice and soft, so I need to actually, now that the groceries are here, I can get what's it called? Some peppers in here. It doesn't matter really. So I usually get the colorful bell peppers instead of the green. I don't particularly like the green. I mean, I'll eat them. Not like I won't, but I prefer the reds, yellows, and oranges. They do have some more added benefits as far as like the vitamins, but I mean, could do any. It's no big deal. So I'm going to chop some of these real quickly. I wish I had, which someday, mark my words, someday I'm going to have a multi-camera system. Now, has anybody, any of those watching now or on the replay, has any of you seen Selena Gomez's cooking show on, I think it's HBO Max that she has it? I so jealous because, not only does she have a beautiful big home, but her camera setup for the cooking show is phenomenal. She has a camera underneath her range over the stove. She has a camera going toward her fridge and pantry, and then a camera in front of her island where she chops and everything. And it's set on motion. So anytime she moves, that camera will trigger. So you see her everywhere she goes. That is the dream for me, to get a camera set up like that, especially when I'm doing lives or recorded videos, such as this in the kitchen. But for now, right now, just rocking the phone for Instagram and my laptop for YouTube and Facebook. Well, one day I'll get there. Mark my words. Anyways, saying hello to Melissa who just tuned in. Am I cold? Do I look cold? This is not long sleeve. This is a short sleeve. And this is a sports shirt. And it's short. So, no, I'm not cold. I was hot, actually. Really hot today. Anyways, chopping up some bell peppers for our taco mixture. But anyways, how are you doing? What is up with you guys today? It is for dinner. Okay, so I don't want you on Roblox. Yes. For now. They always like to ask for things that I would normally say no to while I'm on the live, so I don't have to like argue with them. I'm just like, yes, whatever. They know how to work me. Hi Rachel, how are you doing? Got the clan on here today. All right, I did one yellow, one red. Now I'm going to do one orange. That should be enough. And then I'll throw in meat and season that up. You're doing good, Nicole. You're making dinner. Well, share with everybody what you're making for dinner. I'd like to know. Melissa, what are you making for dinner? Rachel, what are you having for dinner? Even if you're not cooking it, even if it's leftovers, even if you went out to eat and bought something, just share. What are you eating for dinner? I always like to hear. I just made my meal plan list for the rest of this week and next week because I just did a grocery shopping. So I have to have that set before I can grocery shopping, so that way I know what exactly to have on hand and to not go crazy overboard buying things. So today is the tacos. Tomorrow, I mean, unless we have a ton of tacos left, which normally we don't. Normally we eat all the tacos, but tomorrow, if there's no leftovers, I am planning to make some pizza and chicken drumsticks. Now, we like to do wings, but wings tend to be very expensive, and so my wings will be the drumsticks, and I'll be cooking them the way I would cook my wings. My husband likes when I do like a garlic parmesan and sometimes barbecue, so that's the plan for tomorrow. And for my pizza, since I can't have the regular traditional pizza, I'm going to do my biscuit pizza that I was talking about the other day. So stay tuned tomorrow if you want to see that. Not doing educational. I know, because he asked me when I was live. All right, get this meat in. Chop it up. Starting to smell good. Just want to get this all nice and separated. And then to let it cook a little bit on its own.
Mom, can I have
That looks pretty good.
Mom, can I have a pot?
I guess. See, they always ask for things. Sweets, snacks, games. Anyways, I'm going to let that cook a little bit. All right, so Melissa says she's not cooking, and Nicole says she is making a salad with steak and cheese, something easy tonight. Easy meals are always bomb. Easy meals. See, I'm the type of person that because it's the end of the night, I tend to be the most tired at around this time. Like right before 4 hits, I'm like starting to doze. So when it's dinner time, I tend to like to do the easiest type of meal. I mean, I've done more complicated meals before, but at that time, I like to do whatever is easiest. But because I have more energy for breakfast and lunch, which is probably, if you've been seeing my content, like either on stories or Instagram, you may have seen a lot more of like my big extraordinary breakfasts because number one, I'm hungry. So I'm like, I want to eat all the things. Two, I have more time to actually do something bigger and elaborate. And three, I have the energy to stand there and do all that. So I'm the type of person on a normal basis where my heaviest meal is actually breakfast. So if you think about like a cone, right, coming down, the top, my breakfast tends, I mean, this is not every day, but it tends to be my biggest meal, which is nice because it helps me to be full for a very long period of time. And then as we get into lunch and dinner, I will tend to eat less amount. You know what I mean? Not as big of a dish or as elaborate. So for lunch, I like to either have like veggies with like that buffalo chicken dip I made the other day, or like a sandwich. Sometimes when my kids have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I'll do it. I don't care, you know. Those tuna cakes that I made, something like super easy and small, not too crazy. And then as we get into dinner, like I even want to have even something smaller and simple. So the tacos are good because I'll have like 2 or 3 and I'll be good. And that's why a lot of times also, because I love dessert and I have a sweet every day, I tend to have that usually between breakfast and lunch, I would say. It's usually around or before dinner. I don't have it usually after dinner at all because that's like at the end of the day, I'm just like, I'm not really that hungry. So that's kind of just my method. Works for me. But, you know, that's not every day. There are days where it can be a little bit different. Anywho's it. So this is looking good and smelling good. I just need to get some seasoning going. Today I'm using ground chicken. I don't know if you were on, did I say it yesterday or the day before? I know it was this week that I bought like 6 packages of like ground chicken. And I was like, I kept forgetting that I bought it because we have 2 freezers. And so sometimes if it's in the trunk freezer, I don't remember. So, I was just like, oh, wow, I have that many. I need to use it up. So we're using that up today. Not all of it, but using one of them up today at least. Anyways, let's talk about today's topic real quick as I pull out my seasonings that I want to use for this. Let's see. Why can't I find my garlic? Oh, there it is. All right, cool. So we're going to talk about how to stay consistent on off days. And the reason I kind of like to talk about this a lot is because we all have off days. And in the past 2.5 years of working with clients, some things that I've heard from few is like if they have a plan that they're going toward and they mess up for whatever reason, right? Maybe they had a sugary sweet that they shouldn't have had, or maybe they were on our reset and they screwed up the reset, or they skipped a day of working out when they were trying to be really consistent with 5 days a week or whatever. Those are just some examples. They would kind of have like this all or nothing mentality where it's like, oh, I totally messed up, so I need to just start all over on Monday. And that would always get me because it was like, you can't really go based on that philosophy. First of all, what's so magical about Monday? I don't understand what's magical about Monday. I've heard that kind of story too many times. Let me know if you've fallen victim to that too, that mentality of like, I just need to start fresh on a fresh week. But there's nothing magical about waiting till Monday, especially if it was Monday, the day that you messed up. I means you're going to wait an entire week to get, going on your goals. That's crazy. Like, to me, that is utterly crazy. Why can't we just continue what we've been doing? One little mess up is not going to completely change the game. And even still, you're going to make things worse for yourself if you wait an entire week to get clear-headed and really attack those goals. But all that to be said is that we're all going to have off days here and there. We're all going to have a moment of like, oh man, I screwed this up. Or, oh, I thought I was doing this right, but I wasn't doing this right. Or, you know what, I didn't exercise today. And that happens. That happens to me sometimes as well. We can't avoid those off days. But what we can do is have a system in place for when those days happen to really navigate how to get through that day, how to get through the emotions of, what was just done, to continue on, to be consistent and not completely derail your whole progress. Sorry, just making sure that's all combined. We don't want to derail our entire progress of what we have done just based on having an off day. And so as moms, busy moms, we're all busy mamas. Like, we're all busy mamas, whether you're homeschooling like me, whether your kids go to school and you go to a job, no matter what situation is, we're all busy mamas. Like, we all have things going through our heads 24/7. We're constantly worried about our children, our family, what's going on in the house, what's happening tomorrow, what's happening next week, what's happening for Thanksgiving, the holidays. Like, if you actually just sat there and thought about all the thoughts in your head, we can literally go crazy, overwhelmed. And that can dictate into having an off day. Maybe you didn't get sleep because you're dealing with something, or you had to stay up late because you were preparing something for Thanksgiving or whatever, right? Maybe there's something new that just landed on your lap. And you're like, geez, I have so much already and I got to do this because of family, because of my job, whatever. There's always going to be something that comes up and just really takes our energy, our focus. But that doesn't mean that you can't still achieve the goals that you want for your body, for your weight loss, for feeling good in your skin. So that's why I really want to talk about that today, because we all deal with that. And instead of feeling like a failure on those days, we want to feel empowered to get through those days, because they will happen. And it just takes simple steps without the added pressure. And so many things add pressure to our lives, but we don't want to create even more pressure around it. And so, like I mentioned before, common reasons would be lack of sleep, not having that energy or feeling motivated. Stress, I'm going to say this like a lot, because stress is kind of like that thing that is always taking over in our lives. The stress, overwhelm of your duties as a mom, work, and last minute changes, interruptions, like I mentioned before. Your schedule is constantly changing, something going on with your kid, an emergency, some sort of emergency comes up that of course we don't plan for or we don't want to happen, but God forbid they do happen. You got to give yourself grace. If any of you are watching right now, you will know and hear me say giving yourself grace is crucial to being able to move forward. You need to be able to recognize when those off days happen, and they're normal. They're completely normal. You're not insane. You're not crazy. You're not a good mom. These are normal things that happen from time to time, and it doesn't define your overall progress. You can still keep moving forward even if something comes up. You didn't do your workout that day. You didn't eat healthy that day. Whatever, right? Whatever it is. So I want you to have a shift of focus and focus on small wins versus complete failure. Like, instead of saying, oh man, I totally, had that cupcake when I shouldn't have had. It's just an example. And instead of saying, you know what, I'm just going to restart on Monday. and because that was a total loss for me. No, that's not a total loss. And say, all right, well, then my next meal, I'm going to focus on balancing out my meal. And, what if it was the workout, then I'll do a smaller workout, or I'll do it tomorrow, and be really determined, be focused, be intentional with that. And I'm looking back at both screens because I have Facebook this way and Instagram this way. And so like a food hack is, choose one healthy meal that you can really focus on, whether that's breakfast, dinner, doesn't matter. But just having a small win in that is going to help kind of boost that confidence in you. And then set a bare minimum goal. Like, you know what, because today's an off day and I really don't have the motivation to do this, I'm going to set one bare minimum goal, and that's all I'm going to focus on. That's all I'm going to focus on. So that could be like, well, today I'm going to make sure that I drink 64 ounces of water. Like, that's my bare minimum goal. Or today I'm going to make sure that I go for a nice walk after dinner, outside, get some fresh air and just go for a nice walk with my husband, whatever. Like, just something that you can set your focus on, and then at the end of the day be like, okay, I did it, and tomorrow I'm going to do better. Like, I'm going to be better than I was today. And then reframe the way you see those off days. And like I said, instead of seeing it as a complete failure, say, it's just time to reset. Okay, this happened. I didn't feel good this day. I didn't attend to my commitment, whatever, and say, this is just a reset. Morning, now we're on mission. Like, we're being intentional. This is what, I planned for. It's going to be a game changer because we're not complete failures and we're not perfect at all by any means. Let me just say that again. We're not perfect. We were never meant to be perfect. And we need to just have grace on ourselves, just like God has grace on us, and be able to move forward. Adopt the better, not perfect mindset. So important in order for you to be able to be consistent even when you have an off day. And then you want to just listen to your body, be kind to yourself, make mental notes on what could be improved next time you have another off day. Really sit with that so that when you do have another off day, because they will happen, it'll be a little bit easier, a little bit better. You'll feel a little bit more intentional about it, and maybe you'll do a little more than before. Instead of that one focus, maybe you have a two focus, and that's totally fine. And that's going to help you prepare for future off days, keeping a plan in place for that whenever it happens. And maybe you might be saying to yourself, Stephanie, like, I have too many off days. Like, it just happens too often. And it really gets me down. I really get down in the dumps. I'm not motivated. And when I set off to do a weight loss journey, I end up quitting on myself. And you know what? That happens to the best of us. And we need to be able to work through those emotions and not dwell on the past. The past does not dictate your future. It doesn't mean you're going to be a complete failure. Don't use that as your weapon. Use it as a launch pad, right? A weapon is going to keep you immobilized. It's going to make you stay chained to what's going on in your life. We don't want to be bound. We want to be free. And so use the past as a launch pad. Like, I'm going to launch off of the fact that even though this is how I behave, this is how I perceive things, this is how I, figured things out in the past, that's not going to be my future. That's not how I'm going to go into this again. Let's shut this off. I don't want that to burn. And so, like I said, with the nutrition, you can focus on one meal that you're going to be really good and intentional with for that day. But for a workout, instead of doing maybe your usual 30-minute, whatever minutes that you normally do, Maybe you can think of something shorter. Well, maybe I'll do a 15-minute workout that's, really geared toward working my arms, working my legs, whatever. Or maybe I'll just focus on walking, like going for a nice long walk. Walking is really good to help with clearing your mind, your mental health, just breathing, taking in nature. So it'll be really helpful. Maybe instead of going as hard as you were going before, taking a little bit easier. Um, Help you still be consistent, but not get to the point where you're just like, I don't want to do it at all. I'm just gonna quit on myself, and that's gonna create that small win to build the momentum, to keep building the momentum. Even if it may not be as big of a momentum, it's still momentum. It's still moving forward. And having a reset toolbox on hand is going to be very helpful. That's creating a list of small go-to actions when these off days happen. So the reset toolbox is something that I'm going to be offering for the ladies that join the Drop 10 and Keep It Off 3-day event. So something that will really help you move forward and that you can fill out yourself to keep, something you can go back to when you have the off days. And then lastly, the last thing that I want to say that's really going to be helpful in these times is having a community and support system in place. That one I can't stress enough. Like, I love my people. I love the ladies that I work with. I love having that sense of community, that camaraderie, like just being able to bounce off of each other, like, being able to pray with each other, being able to know that someone has been through the same thing that I've been through. And I know a lot of the ladies in the program can agree with that is just so helpful to help build the momentum, to be able to build your motivation and confidence. Accountability is unlike no other. And so that is what I have for you today for today's topic. And if you feel like this has been really helpful to you, number one, like, and if you're not following me, follow me, please. Number two, share with a friend, share on your page. It can be helpful to someone else that may be going through a similar situation. And number three, join the event. It's a 3-day event happening in less than 2 weeks, and it's completely free. So there are no strings attached, and you're going to learn a lot. We're going to dive deeper into all of this. And Sexy Fit Mamas is launching for December 1st. So our next cohort, opening up the group to bring in some new ladies. So I'm super excited about that. So if you want more information, drop it down below. Write 3-day event. I'll send you a link to join. And the last thing I wanted to share was just what we're covering on the 3 days. So the first day, we're going to, it's called Uncover Your Hidden Roadblocks. We're going to go over like what exactly has been holding you back or keeping you back. Like every time you try and try again, just like we were talking about, but then you quit on yourself. What is it exactly? Like the root of the problem, so that you can break free from that, put the right things in place so that it doesn't keep happening, and be able to move forward to have actual real results that you don't quit on yourself for. Day 2 is building your dream body blueprint. And so that is going through exact steps that I went through to lose the 76 pounds. And that's going to incorporate your nutrition, your mindset, and moving your body. And that does look different for everybody. I do want to say that, which is why Sexy Fit Mamas is very, what's the word I want to use? It's not a one-size-fits-all program. It's customized to you and your body. And so we're going to dive into some of that for day 2. And then the last day, we're going to master your weight loss for life, because I don't want you putting this weight back on. I know what that feels like. It feels like failure. Just like we were talking about those off days, feeling like a failure. And I don't want you to feel that. I want you to feel confident and victorious. And, I'm going to be building in some biblical principle because my faith is what has gotten me through this journey. And I feel like that's without, like, I couldn't do that without my faith. So I'll be sharing some of that, sprinkling some of that in. So, anyways, that's it for today's topic. And thank you so much for joining me live, and to those that are watching the replay. Let me know if you're watching the replay in the comments below. Just write #replay. And if you have any questions, please drop them below. I will be checking those. My meat is done. I just need to get, all the fixings and everything to build a taco. So I will be back tomorrow for our pizza and drumsticks, and I hope you can join me. But until then, have a great night. Enjoy your dinners, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. God bless.